Rock On Beer viewers, happy Wednesday to you. It's not the normal bright kind of day where I usually record videos here in the spare bedroom, but I really want to get some kind of, I want to do Homebrew Wednesday and make that a thing so that I kind of have a routine of getting videos out that are homebrew related. So this is going to be officially Homebrew Wednesday 2. And I got a couple of things to talk about. First off, I've actually got a homebrew here, and it's not mine. This is from Robert, who I met with the other day, and he gave me a bottle of his homebrew, and it looks like it's some kind of stout or porter. I can't remember if he actually told me what it was, but cheers, thanks Robert for giving me this, and I hope that you can use some of my ramblings in your master's thesis. It's nice. It's nice and chocolatey. Oh yeah. It's lacking a little carbonation. I can't remember if he told me it had been bottled really recently, so that could be why. But yeah, nice little stout portery type thing with a bit of licorice and chocolates. It's pretty sweet too. It's nice. Thanks again, Robert. So I am going to talk a little bit about my homebrewing a little bit. I'm going to do an update on the Vandregær, which is the Danish yeast project that's from New Nordic Beer. You can look at some videos I've done about that. Basically, it's a experimental yeast that was isolated from some apple skins on a little island here in Denmark, and it's been wandering its way around Denmark to some pro brewers, and when they're done brewing their beers, they do yeast harvests for home brewers, and I actually got the second generation ever of this yeast, and I brewed an American farmhouse, Nordic farmhouse IPA. So it's the Danish Nordic experimental yeast, and it's basically an American IPA recipe. You can see the brew day and stuff. I'll link that. But just put that into secondary. Gave it some time. It's going to need some time because the yeast gives a really phenolic clovey smell. It's really similar to certain saison yeasts, definitely like Belgian yeast. It's got a lot of fruitiness, and the cloves have actually started to fade out. Thankfully for my purposes, since I put a ton of hops in there, I'm actually starting to get the hops a little more, and then the yeast is kind of going more saison-y, spicy route. That's nice. It hit an awesome gravity of 1.009, so it's really great. It's not going to be bone dry like a saison, but it's going to be right around where a normal IPA is. So I think that's really cool. I'm really happy with how this yeast actually attenuated and fermented. I'm hoping to get that bottled sometime this week, and then in a couple of weeks do some tasting of it. But when we transferred it to secondary, we did harvest the cake, and we did turn it around into another beer. We happened to be brewing we had some other saison yeast, Wallonian saison from the East Bay, and the tube was starting to go get close to its out of dateness, and we decided to do a dark farmhouse, or a farmhouse stout. I got a remark on Facebook from someone that the Vandregær Danish yeast would be perfect for saisons and perfect for saisons and Weiss beer. So of course the American would put it into an American IPA, And you know what? I decided to take that to heart, and of course now I'm putting it into a stout. So we'll see what that does. It's a split batch stout, dark saison, whatever you want to call, whatever it's going to end up being. And that's 10 liters on Vallonian saison yeast and 10 liters on Danish Vandregær. And the Vandregær, when I checked it the other day, was fermenting really nicely. The Vallonian was kind of, it started out pretty weak, so I kind of a little bit afraid of that, but we'll have to see when they're done. So there'll be a bonus dark stout that's kind of, yeah. And I took a little bit of footage on the brew day, so I'm gonna kick it over to that, and I'll talk a little bit more about it on there for a few minutes, and yeah, I'll see you on the other side. Hey, welcome to some brew day footage. This is our Farmhouse Stout, or Dark Saison, whichever you'd like to call it. I'm moving more towards Farmhouse Stout since, as you can see, we did not hold back on the dark malts. There's about 4 different ones in there. You can definitely tell from the color that it's not just a debittered saison with debittered black malt. We did split this batch in 2. You can see we're using 2 11 liter fermenters. We're going to use 2 different yeasts. I tried to keep them like exactly the same amount in each, so that we can compare the 2 different yeasts. It's going to be commercial saison yeast, and then the experimental Danish one. You can see here, this is Yeast Bay Wallonian Farmhouse yeast. That's what we're going to use in 1/2. We're inoculating about 10.5 liters with 1 vial. Should be enough yeast in there. And then the other Vandregær beer is actually getting yeast cake poured in, which I don't have any footage of, but you can take my word for it that we harvested a yeast cake and we put about, I don't know, a little over 100 milliliters. We tried to keep them so that they would have about the same pitching rate, but obviously we can't really be sure with the Vandregær yeast what the actual cell count was. But I can tell you that the Vandregær took off a lot faster than the Vallonian yeast when it actually got it started. We're smelling the inside of the vial here. It smells nice and funky. So I really hope that this yeast, I hope that comes through in the actual beer. A little bit of spicy funk for this dark beer. And we just shake aerate these beers. We didn't use any pure oxygen or anything, which probably didn't help the fermentation take off, but you do what you can on brew day. So big high hopes for these beers, and you should see them in a month or 2. Cheers. So I guess that you saw some brew footage. You can really tell that we didn't go with that stout the safe way of just making it with some debittered black malt just for color. It's going to be a proper dark one. But that one will be coming up in I guess a month or so before that's done, depending on how the secondary goes for it. But I'm really looking forward to how that turns out, because that's definitely a beer that's either going to be really cool or just horrible. So be really interested to see that. But thanks for watching this, or I hope you made it this far. And look forward to every Wednesday now. I'm really going to try and get out some kind of homebrew related video for Homebrew Wednesday. And if you want to see more, please consider subscribing. I'll put links or whatever. Check out my blog at rockonbeer.com or check me out on Facebook. That always helps out. And until next Wednesday or until the next video, I just wanted to say cheers.